This one's from Liberated Husky at Liberated Husky. Which part of the process is the most fun for you guys? Being in front of the camera, behind it, or post-production?
Post for me. I weirdly love
Post?
editing. Yeah. I think that's when you're seeing if it's working or not. And if it doesn't, I guess I'm a good enough editor where I'm like, okay, if this doesn't work, I can do something in editing to at least make it okay. You know, like, at least in my eyes, I'm sure there's a lot of people, it's like, yeah, it still sucks. Well, okay, but like, I can see it and still be okay with it. Like, I'm proud enough of this. Weirdly, I guess Hitchcock was the same way. The acting is where I'm like, it's fine, but it's my least favorite. It's just the stuff in the middle. You're coming up with the idea, and then you're finalizing it, and then there's the stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at editing, but, you know, it's like putting together a puzzle and getting it together. But I wouldn't say it's, like, my favorite part. I do like acting in front of a camera, like, you know, like the Spawn Clown or other things I've done over the years.
You were so great as that clown. Oh my God, that was great.
Yeah, there's some other characters I want to do on the Nerd one day or whatever, but... yeah, I think in front of it is the most fun for me, but you know we can do all parts of it. Yeah, I'm probably the best in editing and that, like, because I'm not, you know, I know cameras and lights and stuff, but not as technically as most people. So I'd probably say acting.
It's like somebody told me this once that when you make a movie, you're making 3 movies. Like there's a movie you make when you're writing it. And then there's a movie you make when you're shooting it, because things become very different. You know, you might have to compromise or change, or new ideas come about while you're filming. And then the third movie is when you're editing, and that's kind of like the last chance you have to fix anything that's not working. A lot of times it's like, all right, well, the script's not really quite there, but the actors they'll take care of it, right? And then it's like, oh, and that now the editor's got to take care of it. And that's finally the last. I know who said that one, though. It was George Lucas.
Oh, well, Star Wars, as I said it before, is saved in editing.
Yeah, no, it totally was. Yeah. Well, and it's so strange when you get to a point where, like, you'll have... you know, like, just sometimes I'll use reactions of, like, actors, actresses, whatever, like, after I've said cut or something like that, and they'll sort of give a look or something like that. But when I need a cutaway, it's like, oh, that actually looked very natural. I'll use that, even if they're not aware they think the camera's off, but like it might be on for like a few more seconds. A lot of times I won't even say cut. Penny Marshall apparently did this. Like, she'll just leave the camera on to see what people keep saying and doing, and sometimes they will just do the funniest stuff. They're waiting for cut, and then they'll just make up something, some sort of weird word or reaction. Like a good chunk of A League of Their Own, like a lot of the funny lines before it cuts away was just improvised because she didn't say cut.
Right. What about you, Karen? Do you want to be in front of the camera, behind the camera, or post-production?
As I'm an animator, I like the post-production. I'm an animator. I love working in After Effects and things like that. And as I've said, too, even in the panel, my favorite thing we ever did was the Resident Evil Survivor episode, where I put James into the old cutscenes of
the games
of the game, and I had like,
and you also had like you did like the little claymation, not claymation, but
with the action figures and stuff. And I filmed that in here actually with the toys. But one of my favorite things was like when I would see other people's videos, and everybody always puts the part where what's his name? Brad Vickers from Resident Evil 1 is flying away, and he leaves the whole STARS team, and James is standing there, and he goes, wow, what an asshole. And it's like, I've seen that in other people's Resident Evil videos a bunch of times, where they're using the old cutscenes, and you just see James like, wow, what an ass. And I laugh. And I was like, holy shit. Like, it's cool seeing stuff like that. So it was like, because we extensively, like, storyboarded that whole thing. Yeah. Because we had to, like, film it to the way the cutscenes were, man. And it was fun. I and it was all just because somebody was like, we were in the office, and someone was like, "What if you put them in the old cutscenes?" And I was like, "Fuck, now I got to do it. Like I got to get those cutscenes." So I recorded them all, and it was really fun doing that. And also to the action figures and stuff was awesome.
Well, James, so I guess behind, in front, or
post-production. I don't know, because I like them all.
I like all of them.
Yeah, oh, cool, thanks. I like performing, but it's like I like writing. I think that the writing and the editing, you can do it like at home, and the shooting just depends on where you're trying to shoot it. So a lot of times shooting involves a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people need to show up. There's a lot of equipment. There's a lot of props. There's like so many things that go into the shooting, things that need to be there. And the traveling is the worst part, I think. It's like, the worst thing is when you're like trying to get to a filming location and you're sitting in traffic, and it's like there's so much stress leading up to it. So I would say if I were to pick the part that I like the least, would probably be the shooting, actually. But I
It's
say
the
the
most
editing.
schedule intensive.
Yeah. If it's a film, I like the editing.
You know what it is too? It's that there's other people. When you're writing it, when you're editing it, it's just you. When there's other people there, you don't want to waste their time, and it's like you're the person in charge. So you're just like, oh man, I want to make sure I'm not making them late for something or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if it goes well, there's always this stressful, like, just keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Yeah.
The worst is when it's like, okay, well, this guy's got to go, and this person's got to go. Okay, who's got to go first? Like, and you're trying to like schedule that person.
Guys got to go to the Philly airport. We got to get him out there.
It's also like an army. You got to feed everyone. You got to make sure everyone's where they're supposed to be. Everyone's hitting their marks. You can't waste everyone's time.
I don't like anything that involves cameras. I hate it all. I'm cool with computers, but man, I fuck cameras. Fuck you, cameras.